So as you can see right here, what we're going to be doing today is a reaction to this LMC and a grower from Maine. They did a interview slash just a interaction where they are covering this situation that unfolded with Bey Buds. If you aren't familiar with who Bey Buds is, then that's good for you. He is just this goofy character that is originally coming from Chelsea, Massachusetts. Very goofy character who has started this band that is based upon just having flashy bags. So this person is definitely not a quality person. They're not a quality over quantity person when it comes to what they source or just anything they do in general. It's just someone who is a shit stain on society and a shit stain in the game. So this is going to be a privilege to do this reaction, and as you can see from the whole headline of this video, there's going to be much more to come. So this is just a piece of the puzzle that I'm going to be putting into a bigger video. So let's give you my reaction on this. As you can hear, they're already talking about how Beazy Buds doxed this man to the right. As you can see, this guy right here is definitely a straight shooter. This is definitely someone who is not going to hold back on what they're saying or when they're saying it. So this is a privilege to hear this person even speak upon this issue, due to the fact that a lot of people are very scared to speak on this. Everyone sees the outcome of what Beazy does if you give him a bad review, and that is shameful. In the bigger picture, if someone really reacts this way to having someone tell them that they didn't enjoy the product, or even better, if they have this type of reaction to someone giving them a detailed description on why they didn't enjoy the product, then that's a clear sign that that person is trying to keep up this false image and this faulty ego to an extent where they're trying to pretend like their shit does not stink and that it could never stink, which all shit stinks. So this is gonna be an interesting one. Let's get into it.
Yeah, I do remember that. So yeah, and my whole take on it, people can go watch it.
Before we get into this as well, I have no issues with LMC. I actually enjoy him as a person. I did not find this very funny or amusing, the fact that he played this off acting like he didn't know where he knew this guy from. He probably knew where this guy was coming from, so that is kind of a thing we have to be aware about when we hear someone saying that they, oh yeah, I mean, yeah, you're right, I do know. That could be a sign that the person doesn't have the best memory. What it also could be is that person is actually showing allegiance to this person who they just said they have no allegiance to. So it is what it is. A lot of people are very much ass kissers of people that have money, so I'm not going to say that's the case here, because I only have a little bit to base it off of, but I just hate that about humans, and I'm not going to hold my breath and act like that's not what I'm seeing right here. So how to say it.
Show on a live stream as well, like about a month ago, and you know, I wasn't really aware initially until a little bit later about the situation that happened with you and him. But no, I was aware of the situation.
Yeah, that's why you had him on. Was that I think it was
That's what I mean. At the end of the day, we all make mistakes. We all forget things. That is a very human trait of forgetting things, but this seems a little bit weird. So just have to point that out in the beginning. I'm not going to be someone who's sugarcoating shit and telling you it's a popsicle. I'm going to tell you exactly what it is, and either you like that or you don't. So I have to mention that.
Stay after he had doxed me.
Yeah, I do remember that. So yeah, and my whole take on it, people can go watch it. You know, it's still up there. It's on my LMC THC YouTube channel. Was that, I mean, that stuff is like a obvious no. Like, obviously that shit is like, anybody that's been on the internet for more than a month knows that, like, you shouldn't be. You should never. Ever, and it's also just a safety thing too. But
extreme safety. And this child, like, that's 16-year-old shit.
Yeah.
You know? And people die from that. While we're touching on the whole doxing thing, Colorado kid, same thing happened to him out in Colorado. He was doxed and he was swatted actually, and they shot him. It went through his ass and his.
So original reason on why I'm even doing this video, as you can see, the guy on the right is he is someone who Beazy has doxed. I am as well. Beazy is on a streak and on a tear of just throwing people's information out there, and not really sure what he is expecting to happen, to be honest. I'm not really sure what he is expecting to happen, due to the fact that most of the people who are interested in Bey Buds flower or follow him on these different places where he's actually putting this information out aren't necessarily people who are going to try to kill someone. What they might do is what they're saying right here, and they might try to call in some fake threat. They might try to scam those people. They might try to hack those people's different information, use their socials in some weird ways. I don't know. But it's definitely a childish and very, very weird way of going about it. Realistically, if you're some gangster, if you're some tough guy, posting addresses online does not fit that criteria. That's almost something that would box you out of being a tough guy. So this is just weird, but I had to interject right here.
Testings, and pretty sure he just passed away 4 or 5 days ago, 6 days ago now, from septic, I'm guessing. They're going to do an autopsy, but he's had a lot of complications since he got swatted. Bad fucking news.
Yeah, and for folks that aren't aware, I'm sure most people do know what swatting is, but swatting is kind of this, like, it's this really terrible kind of, like, quote-unquote, like, prank or whatever you want to call it, but, like, it's where, like, it usually happens with, like, kids and, like, the rise of streaming, where people will see, like, this happens to, like, not always like this, but they'll see people on stream, right? And honestly, I don't even want to talk about it now because we're on stream right now, and I don't want, something like shit like that, but knock on wood, but, and then they call the police saying, hey, there's somebody, kidnapped at this house, and then they send in the SWAT team, and there's some, like, serious problems that can arise from that, obviously. So
yeah, absolutely, it's bad fucking news. It's something, I can deal with the garbage weed, I can deal with people running, I can deal with it all. I mean, luckily for me, the whole doxing thing isn't really going to affect me a whole lot, but it can affect a lot of people. It affected Andy. He's dead now. He's dead because it's so stupid.
I don't want to interject right here because this is very, very important, but I have to say that it is definitely a very effective thing for scare tactics. It is definitely something that I assume is just a bluff to an extent, but it is also something that can be, that it could go further than just a bluff. It could just go further than someone now knowing where you sleep. It's definitely something that has a lot of potential of being very, very bad. So it's definitely a no-go. It's not something that I really think anyone should do. But I have to say this right here. If someone was to dox you, is it okay for you to dox them? Would it be okay for Beazy's full information, social security number, address, all of that fun stuff, is that okay for it to be put out to the public? Is that okay, or is it only okay for some old grown guy that will say that his only excuse why he can't fight it out is because he had this kidney failure a long, long time ago? Is that okay, or would it be okay for this situation to dox that person as well? What do you think? I want to know in the comments. What do you think? Do you think it's valid for someone to now dox Beazy, or should we just should we allow him to just look like the fool, the child in the situation that has to resort to these pussy petty games that are not going to actually work. It's more just going to show that he's this fluffy, goofy bastard that thinks that he can just put stuff out there and someone else is going to handle it for him. What do you think? Let me know down in the comments. I would love to know what you guys actually think. If you think that it is better to let karma deal with it, or to put a little bit of a rush in that clock so it surely does happen. What do you think?
Shit like that. So, yeah. I don't know, you want to go back to the beginning? Or?
Yeah, well, rest in paradise, by the way, to Andy.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Let's go back to the beginning, for sure. So, like, walk us through kind of the start of this.
So I'm kind of new to social media. I'm not. I've been going lead. I'm up here in Maine, where I was behind on everything up here. But I come over to X, and just to help some people out, give them some knowledge that I've gained over the years. Gain some knowledge for myself. All this terminology. ZA. I never knew what ZA was till I got on X, right? So, it was all, that was my whole intent. I got a brand now. I don't sell online. I'm not competing with nobody online. I'm local. I'm legal. I just had some extra time. I like the fact of free speech. I've tried Facebook a few times with some weed pics and stuff, and I get banned. But
so that's not free speech. They're not. They're the opposite of free speech.
Absolutely. I don't even play with any of them. Yeah.
So Instagram is Beazy's safe space, and as you can see, they're talking about how Instagram does not allow free speech. What I think they're hinting to here when they say that is how they allow people to decide who is valid to stay. That's something I've noticed as well. Of course, Beazy has some sort of connection in Instagram. He has gotten roughly like 5 or 6 of my accounts deleted, which is not cheap. It's not cheap at all, but seems to be a trending thing for him to do. And let's pull up a clip of him even saying that he does this. So as you can see, this is definitely something that is very goofy, and the fact that he is so willing to admit it shows that he's not done doing it. He's very much just started. He's someone who will try his hardest. He'll try his hardest to continue to keep whatever reputation he has. So getting people deleted that speak out against him is a strategy that seems to actually somewhat work, and he continuously is able to do it due to the fact that he has some sort of connection in that game, which we're not going to speak on too much right now. I feel like I'm taking too many breaks during this, but it is something I wanted to speak on just due to the fact that he is so willing to admit it, so willing to brag about it, so willing to act as if it is some superpower that he only has. And he's kind of right. He's one of the only people that I know that is super consistent with being able to get anyone's accounts deleted, because he got MIDS deleted, he's had me deleted, he's had Zawbusters deleted, he's had Coon Cat Crazy. I don't know if he's had him deleted, but he's definitely done worse than just having him deleted. So we see this trend that is not looking like it's ever going to stop. It seems like it's just going to continue to get worse and worse and worse, because this person is becoming this almighty figure that some people are actually glorifying. It's very weird to see it, but some people actually think that Beazy's like this cool guy, which is very funny. It's interesting to see, in my opinion, but let's continue.
Gee, none of it. Yeah. But I see X was allowing you to be yourself and post your stuff, and I see a lot of knowledge on there. So that was the whole thing. And then and another reason I jumped on X was somebody referred me to X to try to find the Skittles cup. I had the Skittles cup for years. It's one of my wife's favorite. It's up there. It ranks high in my faves. I had Skittles, grew it for years, and I lost it like a month, maybe 2 weeks prior to coming on X. And I think one of my first posts on X was trying to hunt down the original Skittles cut. And then I see the blue Zushi floating around there, and I see the prices, and I see the blue Zushi was, a Skittles cut, not a Skittles cut, but it had, Skittles in it with the, it says Animal Tsunami. I have since learned that might not be true. I'm not exactly sure.
I'm going to have to interject and say that it's supposedly Skittles times Cushman's. I don't believe that whatsoever. I think that it's most likely maybe Skittles times Fruity Pebbles OG or something along those lines. It is definitely a well-known thing that some breeders will hide the genetics to an extent, but as we know, it's not necessarily a smart thing to do due to the fact that people will eventually stumble upon what it is and kind of make you look like an asshat. So, we're smoking a hash roll right now. Let's get back to it.
Or what it is there. But it had the Skittles in it. Kind of looks Skittleish to me. And I see they were selling it for big bucks, and it's supposed to be some of the best weed in the world. So I love weed. I've been smoking weed since I was fucking, I don't know, 4th grade, 5th grade. And so I said, hey, I'm gonna try to get me some of this blue sushi, see what's up. And Beazy, I happened to, I don't even know where I found Beazy, but he had jumped on my post. That's what it was. He had jumped on one of my posts. We were talking about Maine weed and how he had built his brand originally out of Maine. So I'm like, all right, this guy understands Maine weed.
Because a lot of, and just like clarify if I'm right, because a lot of cats from, no pun intended, obviously, but a lot of people from Boston or New York, right? I know a lot of my friends in New York, they go up to Maine because that was where a lot of the growers were in the Northeast, right?
Yeah, Maine's been a hot spot way back. Back in the day, you had your Maine green bud, your KGB, your Killer green bud. They come from Maine. They come from all over the states.
Like Maine, Northern Michigan. Those are like these like hot, like especially.
This weed I'm smoking right now is from Maine. Just had to say it.
Like people aren't aware, like Northern Michigan and Maine are like really, really are.
Players.
Yeah, no, like for sure. You can't be denied. Yeah,
absolutely. We got some players up here, and we got a lot of good girls up here. We got guys that have been growing. I've been growing 35 years. Legit. I was lugging soil at the beginning, obviously for the OGs, and I was listening and learning, and I was peddling my weed. I got caught in 5th grade peddling my first ounce of pot, and I've been on this kick ever since. When it went legal in Maine, we built the first recreational store in Maine.
Wow.
So we've been in the business a long time. We know weed, and I see this blue Zushi is supposed to be good. We saw the bag appeal wasn't there. From what I've seen pictures, it wasn't there, but I wanted to try it, right? So I put out a feeler who can get me the blue Zushi, and somehow Beazy jumped in there. There was a couple of them that I got referred to. I probably should have went with one of the other ones, but Beazy said that he had started his business in Maine, and I just had that connection with him, I guess. And so I hit Beazy up and said, send me some blue Zushi. Cost me $500 for that blue Zushi, and I don't even give a shit about the price. It is what it is. So the blue Zushi shows up. I was immediately taken back. I posted the videos, but I didn't post them before me and Beazy started having a beef. The first thing I posted was that I actually wrote, Beazy did exactly what he said he was supposed to do. He was going to do. He got me my product safely, on time. It came very quickly. As a plug, he did what he was supposed to do. And I wrote that in the post. But I also said that he needed to go back to the grower. I still don't know who the grower is. I don't believe it's Tenco.
Probably.
But you need to go back to the grower and kick them in the nuts, because they've harvested this way too early. It was wet. It had the hay smell. I've been doing this a long time. You can't pull the shit over on me. I know what pure weed smells like. I know what it smells like in the cure process. I know what it looks like. I mean, I've seen it all. And this shit was harvested way too early. It was wet. It smelled like hay. It had a pleasant smell there, but it still smelled like hay. It was early. It was just obviously it was fucking early. So I told Beazy in that post that he needed to get on the growers. Like, if you're gonna be selling weed for $500 an ounce, then it should be at least fucking halfway decent. I gave a half ounce of it.
I can't lie. It seems as if Beazy might have, if this is fully a true story, which I have no reason to doubt it at all due to the experiences that I've had with Beazy, even from the beginning. The first interaction I had with him was years and years and years ago. How many years ago was this? I don't even remember. This is back when I was doing my thing with the weed, and I was about to grab some London pound cake off him. He either sent me a video of it, or like or I don't know, for some reason, like, if you're a plug, I guess you could be mad at this. I told him that I was just gonna grab something else instead, because like just the whole look of it, it just didn't seem like it was gonna be worth it. He freaks out and fucking starts posting about me. He starts saying that I'm some idiot and all this shit, and I'm like, dude, really? You're like some old man? Like, come on, man. This is back when I was like very egotistical as well, I have to admit it. So I was like, right away, I'm just like, let's fight, you know what I mean? And since then, he's just been like on some other shit with me. But I was gonna allow him into this tournament I was doing when I first originally started, and I actually did. He was in the tournament. I let him into this tournament, and I went to get some more strains from him because he had these different brands, and I was like, fuck it, let's put these brands into the tournaments since I have the access to it now. And he sends me all lemon cherries, and he sends me fucking a book with it. The book is the 48 Laws of Power. It's this book about manipulation. It's a book about all of this goofy shit, and he like sends me this weird ass like text basically saying what the reason for the book is. And I'm basically what I'm trying to say is this: it's just amazing that he will do brands like this, and brands still fuck with him heavy because they don't believe it. They don't believe what he's doing, which I don't either sometimes. Like, I'm just like, why would you even do that? I feel like it would be way smarter to not do that, because you can make money off the situation and do all that without it. But when you're playing cards like this, when you're gambling like this heavy and out there just fucking, I don't know. I'm not even gonna bring up how he used to be a drug addict, because I feel like everyone has had their experiences with drugs. But what I do know is that some people will develop habits of stealing, and in the full video I'm gonna bring up the video of him saying how he used to rob dope dealers and do all this shit. So I guess it is gonna look like some weird smear campaign, or some weird nonsense that some people are gonna be like, oh, you're just a hater, you're just this and that. But listen right here. Why would he send this dude that knows about weed, that, I don't know, it seems to me like he has these grudges, or he has these weird things that he heard about someone in the past, so he's just trying to fuck those people over, or at least trying to see what he can get by on them with. Because if you read that 48 Laws of Power thing, it's all about finding ways that you can use people and do all this fucking messed up shit. So it's very interesting. Very, very interesting. Let's play more.
Put away. People that wanted to try it on X, I just gave it to them. I smoked 2 joints out of this. I paid $500 for this ounce. If it was even fucking remotely good, probably smoke it, right? But it's just sitting there. You're getting trashed, whatever. So
Wow.
it started out fine.
I want to see a
Because I
video.
wasn't going after Beazy. I was going after.
I can't lie. I want to see a video of that weed. I want to see if it's just potentially some old blue sushi, because that's what it seems to me. The scenario that he's painting is he's saying that it smells like hay. It smells. He says it smells like it's like pulled too early. To me, that is also similar to the smell of the old weed. Once it turns into that CBN, once it just like completely dies off and it's like starting to turn brown, that starts giving off this weird smell. And I feel like all of the real smell that it would have had would have been gone. And Beazy is famous for saying, "Oh yeah, I can have weed that's like over a year old and it still smokes good," and all this weird shit. He was trying to like debate me one time about that, and I'm just like, dude, weed is like fruits. You have to smoke it within a certain period of time or it's gonna be bad. So it's just, I don't know. I'm not trying to nerd out right now, but it's just amazing that this scenario happens for him where he's given something that's for $500. $500 an ounce is not a cheap price. I'm not gonna act like it's the biggest price I've ever heard, but at the end of the day, those people paying higher than 500 an ounce are smoking crack.
Whoever grew that weed, because that's the bottom line was the problem. And then it just escalated from there. He said that I kept tagging him or whatever, and I probably did when I'm new to X, but I noticed when other people comment, even if they're commenting to me, it would tag him up also. So he woke up to a bunch of fucking not messages, because I didn't get in his inbox. I got in his inbox once, and I posted that whole conversation when he said I was in his inbox a lot. It was bullshit. After we made the sale, and I hit him back, and I said, are you guys fucking with me? Are you messing with me? And he said, no. That's the way they do things. They send it in the jar or whatever. I took it at that, and I never got back in that inbox until he jumped in my inbox threatening to dox me. At which point I said, dox me, I don't give a fuck. Which I don't, whatever. And so he doxed me. And here we are.
Yeah.
The interesting thing is, and I'm not trying to be a hater because I know Beazy probably has a bunch of people that are like cool people that actually follow him and actually will buy his flower, but does he think he has these like super street dudes that are gonna go out there and start fucking riding for him just because someone told him that his weed sucks? Like, come on, man. Use your brain. No one's gonna go out of their way to do life in prison because your weed sucks. They know your weed sucks as well. If they have a fucking brain in their head, they're gonna know your fucking shit sucks as well. You know it sucks. You don't even smoke your stuff. In all your interviews, you talk about how you smoke Skittles all day. Dude, you don't sell Skittles. And the only Skittles that you ever did sell was some fucking sprayed weird shit. So, come on, man. You're a delusional fool. You're a fucking junkie that got better, and respect to that. Big respect to that. But you haven't got better mentally where you're able to stop manipulating people. You still try to use people at all costs. So, what I'm trying to say, in the bigger fucking picture, you need to grow the fuck up, man. You're trying to fucking post people's addresses due to the fact that you can't fucking do anything physical and retaliate against people telling you you're a fucking pussy. So, do what the fuck you have to do. If you think that you are gonna do anything and it's gonna really happen, you're a fool. I'm not trying to sound tough at all. Let me backtrack a bit. I know that I could beat the fuck out of you, Beazy, just because you know that. I don't have to be able to beat everyone in the world, but there's a reason why you're backing down. So I'm not trying to act tough right now, but I know you're gonna see this. So this part right here is the key to it all. It shows you that realistically, in the bigger picture, is anyone safe to be able to do business with this person if they are going to this extent where they are posting stuff like this, which I don't know.
Again, I think what really needs, Beazy's getting people their product. I think the problem is if you've got a problem with Beazy's product, then if you're not willing to be doxxed or harassed, then you probably shouldn't bring it up in public, right? I mean, that's really the bottom line to it. I think that if you're buying off Beazy and you're getting the product and you're not complaining, then you're going to be fine. You're going to get your product. But if you want to complain about it, you better be ready to face some consequences of being doxxed. And I don't know. I don't have to buy weed online. I don't know ship weed online. But when I gave him a P.O. box that wasn't acceptable, which I think that was probably a red flag in itself, that he didn't want to ship to the P.O. box, which, I mean, come on,
What? He didn't want to go to the what? He didn't... I can't even say it. It's so stupid. He didn't want to have it sent to a P.O. box. He would rather have it sent to... Let's just play it.
Shipping fucking weed illegally through the fucking mail. What's it matter whether it hits a P.O. box or a post or a mailbox out beside the road, right? Exactly. So I think that was probably
So you're saying, so just to confirm here, you're saying that why didn't he want to send in the P.O. box?
Well, he didn't tell me why, and actually I had to get somebody else involved too, because I don't even know what app they were using to make the payment, but I didn't have the app. I don't have none of that stuff. And so, I got some youngsters, my kid and her friends that know all these apps and shit. So I hit them up and said, could you make the purchase for me? I'll give you the cash and you just make the purchase. And, it was P.O. box. And he come back and said that he wouldn't ship to a P.O. box. I don't know what the reason. I suspect the reason is because he had already been watching me and knew that I probably might have something bad to say about it, so he was just trying to give himself a little security that if I started to run my mouth like I did, he could come back at me with the doxing thing, because it's not the first time. I haven't tagged some people, but I got 2 other people in my inbox that have had this same problem with Beazy, and I asked them, I said, do you want me to bust his balls? I got no problem busting his balls. And they didn't want to, probably because they don't want any more fallback from the bullshit. But it's not just me. You got that other kid who's 23 years old or something. And
I did an interview with him the other day, actually.
He did?
Yeah. No, that's he's like the first person to start doing what I actually kind of been doing on YouTube for the last 3-4.
I'm sorry to say this, but I think he misspoke right there, because in the interview I told him that he was the one that inspired me to start doing this. So not trying to be a dickhead at all, but I got inspired by LMC to do videos in general. So that is definitely something that I will say, and I'll stand on that.
For years, which is trying to put together kind of documentary kind of stuff. So anytime I see that, I'm hyped. So I wasn't even aware until right before I did that live stream with him and I found that, and I called him out on that. I was like, bro, come on, bro. It's childish, bro, what you're doing.
Yeah, absolutely. It's childish shit. I still don't even understand how a 45-year-old man can do that. I don't know if he's just...
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, I think some people are stuck in their ways or whatever, and I think there's that. I mean, is there any chance for any sort of closure on this? Or no?
So, I've already had my closure. I don't give a shit. You could dox me 100 more times and it wouldn't affect me none. I love chaos. I don't know if it shows, but I love chaos. Too, man.
You operate well in chaos, so you just like it.
I don't have nothing to prove to anybody anymore. I got my wife. My wife is my best friend. My wife's, we're a power couple. There's no doubt about it. Been together since we were 15 years old. we're committed. And
Respect.
there's nothing anybody's going to do, say, even if I got a brand. I have a brand in Maine. It's a well-known brand, and I'm surprised people haven't figured it out yet. I don't give a shit if they do, because, I mean, I got all my local. You see the weed that I grow. I don't have to. It doesn't matter what people say or do. It's not going to affect my business, none.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, I think that is where they wrap up about Beazy for the most part. But this is a weird situation. This is something that I definitely feel as if it is not resolved for anyone, because the person just continues to keep getting people's accounts deleted. I got my account deleted again yesterday. So, was it yesterday or the day before? It was one of those. The hash hole has me a little bit sidetracked, but with that said, I feel as if this issue can be resolved in the bigger picture. Everyone can come out on top, but everyone has to take notice of this. In the bigger picture, if people keep allowing shit like this, then you are the problem. Whoever continues to feed this fucking weird shit, then that's a shame on you, to be honest. But I'm stressed out right now. I'm fucking definitely not gonna be sitting here talking into a camera right now. So appreciate you.